Hey guys, it's JC Theater Yu-Gi-Oh here today, and I'm coming at you with a Burning Abyss deck profile for you. Now I am playing the Sekka's Light variant, as well as I'm playing a little side strategy engine thing going on in the deck in the form of a Block Dragon and some other important Earth monsters. So without further ado, here is my Burning Abyss deck profile. So we're going to start off with the one-ofs, which is one Seer, which Seer is limited because when he's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Burning Abyss monster from your graveyard back onto the field, except a copy of himself. So that ends up being kind of a looping strategy with Dante. Graph, who special summons a Burning Abyss from the deck when he's sent to the graveyard. And then another one of is Calcab, who returns a set spell or trap back to the hand when he's sent to the graveyard. So that's kind of some like removal really for the most part that I decided to tech in there. Additionally, I play one Libic. When he's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your hand, but its effects are negated. So that actually works out pretty well because when he's sent to the graveyard for like a Link monster that isn't Cherubini, you can use this effect in order to bring out a Burning Abyss from your hand, and its effect is negated so it doesn't destroy itself. Additionally, I play one Skarm, who lets you add one level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of the turn he was sent to the graveyard. So though you have to wait, it's still pretty good because you can search for the next turn. Additionally, one Barbar, which when he's sent to the graveyard, you can remove from play up to 3 Burning Abyss cards in your graveyard except Barbar, and then banish them and inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each. So you can deal up to 900 damage to your opponent, which is really good. I run 2 Farfas. Now, Farfa has the effect where if he's sent to the graveyard, you can target a monster on the field and banish it until the end phase. So it's some kind of removal, so that way you can attack for game. And then I also play, for the last 2 Burning Abyss in the main deck, 2 Alec, who, when he's sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up monster on the field, and its effects are negated until the end of this turn. So it's definitely good. It's just an effect negation in 2019 that's definitely good to negate some monster effects. Now onto the support for them. The usual run-of-the-mill support is one Tour Guide from the Underworld, who when she's summoned, you can special summon a level 3 Fiend from your deck onto the field, but its effects are negated. This is basically a 1-card Dante here. And then when that special summon monster is sent to the graveyard, then you can use its effects, so it's definitely pretty good. Additionally, 3 Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Not only does he prevent Fiend-type monsters you control except him from being destroyed by battle or card effects, meaning that the self-destruction effects of the Burning Abyss cards can't actually happen when he's on the field. So he's kind of like a pseudo-Burning Abyss in a way. And additionally, if he's sent to the graveyard, you can send another Fiend-type monster from your deck to the graveyard except another copy of himself. So this is good because not only will he be sent to the graveyard, you can choose any Burning Abyss monster in your deck that you want their effect to go off and send that to the graveyard as well, which is pretty good. It's basically a Foolish Burial. Additionally, he is Earth Attribute, which helps with the Block Dragon plays as well. Now onto the Sekka's Light support, I guess you could say, is the 3 Gallus the Star Beast. Not only is he also Earth Attribute, but he's level 3 as well, which helps out with some of the extra deck plays. Additionally, his effect is very good. You can reveal him in your hand and send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. And if it was a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's level times 200. For the most part, it will usually be just 600 damage, but closer to 0 is always good to life points. And then you special summon Gallus onto the field from your hand. Or if you happen to send something that isn't a monster, aka your Sekka's Light, then you have to destroy Gallus in your hand. This is definitely a very good card. Not only does he send Burning Abyss or mill Burning Abyss to the graveyard potentially, but he also is a free special summon of a level 3 in addition to just overall just helping with everything, because his effect usually will go off since we are only running 3 non-monsters in the deck. Additionally, I play 3 Psychic Wielder, If you control a level 3 monster, you can special summon him out onto the field. That's the main reason we play him. Not only is he good with some of the non-Burning Abyss monsters to make a Dante, but he can also, since he's a tuner, he can go into level 6 Synchro monsters very easily and very quickly. And again, he's also Earth Attribute, which is very good. Because we're running so many Earth Attribute monsters in the deck, I am playing 3 Gigantes. He's interesting because he is an older card. One of those cards where you have to banish a certain attribute monster in order to bring him out. He's like kind of like the Rock Spirit almost, but like a revamp of it. And additionally, when he's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. Since you aren't running any, it only messes with your opponent's back row and stuff. So that's definitely good. And he has a 1900 attack. The only bad thing is he is level 4, so he's just for certain link plays, really. But ultimately, he's a good attack monster on the field, and he's almost always basically he is a free summon because you can't normal summon or set him. Finally, the main reason we play Earth monsters is the Block Dragon. Block Dragon has a pretty decent effect where he cannot be normal summon or set, and he has to be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Earth monsters from your hand or graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Rock-type monsters you control cannot be destroyed except by battle, so that means they can't be destroyed by card effects, of course. And if he's sent from the field to the graveyard, including just like linked off, if anything, you can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. So that's definitely good. We aren't playing too many rock monsters in the deck, I'm afraid. So that second effect, which is honestly the main effect of him, or that last effect rather, doesn't go off too many times, but for the most part he's just a free special summon, and you can continually special summon him since he can be special summoned from the graveyard as well. Next up, I play 3 Power Giant. Power Giant is very good. All he does is you can send 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon him from your hand, and then his level is decreased by that monster's level. And if he's attacked or attacks a monster until the end of the damage step, any effect damage you take becomes 0. That's kind of niche, of course, but the main important thing about Power Giant is the fact that he's level 6. We're playing mainly level 3s in the deck, so that means you can send a Burning Abyss monster from your hand to the graveyard to not only have their effect go off, but then he becomes level 3 on the field, and he's a free level 3, so that makes him just a good body on board to help with certain plays. This is kind of, not controversial, but I'm definitely on the fence about this, but I'm main decking 3 Ghost Bells. This basically stops your opponent from doing things with their graveyard, including adding a card from the graveyard to the hand, deck, or extra, special summoning a monster from the graveyard, or banishing a card from the graveyard. The last effect comes in handy because sometimes your opponent likes to banish your monsters in your graveyard, but for the most part, this is good because not only is she level 3 if you do have to put her on field, she's also a tuner, and she's Earth Attribute. So again, once you use her and send her to the graveyard, you can use Block Dragon's effect, and this will be more fodder for the Block Dragon. Another hand trap, quote-unquote, is going to be Sauravis, the Ancient and Ascended. Now, obviously, we don't play this for a ritual card, but this actually has a hand trap effect where during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, you can discard Sauravis and negate the activation. So this is actually pretty good because it's just extra protection since we aren't running any traps or anything like that, so this is just comes in clutch in a way. Now, an old school throwback, just the last 2 monsters are 1 Crane, which special summons a level 3 monster from your graveyard and negates its effects. So it's kind of like a worse version of Tour Guide, but again, it's Earth Attribute. And then finally, Edgimp Sabers, which if it's in the graveyard, you can place 1 card from your hand on top of the deck to special summon him back onto the field in defense position. He's a Dark Attribute level 3 Fiend, so he's just like the Burning Abyss monsters. So like Fiendish Rhino Warrior or something can send him to the graveyard, and then you can put one of your Burning Abyss monsters on the top of your deck and mill it with either Gallus or Dante or something. Now on to the spells of the deck. We're running 3 Sekka's Light. Now, Sekka's Light is very, almost a pot of greed in this deck, and even a little better, because if you have no spell or traps in your graveyard, you draw 2 cards. With the stipulation that for the rest of the duel after you activate it, you cannot activate spell or trap cards or effects except Sekka's Light. And you can also banish Sekka's Light from your graveyard to reveal 1 monster in your hand, shuffle it into the deck, and then draw a card. So it lets you pump the cards you don't want to see in your hand that you might want to mill or something like that back into your deck to hopefully draw into better cards. And it's just a free +1. It's literally basically a pot of greed in this deck. So it's definitely good. The only issue is that it's kind of, you have to hard draw it since there are no like searchers for this and there aren't many cards in this deck that draw. Of course there are milling effects and everything like that, so it works out and you do get to this. That's my only issue in general with Sekka's Light, is that it's kind of, you don't see it all the time. Next up for the extra deck, I play 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Ducus, and 1 Decode Talker. I'm going to put these more in the middle here. And then these are just generic links to give me more room for some extra deck stuff. Of course, these aren't the best because they destroy the Burning Abyss monsters if the Burning Abyss monsters are on the field since they aren't named. But we can get around that if we use this instead, one of the 2 Cherubinis I run. Maybe bump this up to 3. I'm not sure. I've definitely been okay with 2 Cherubinis for the most part. Now this takes 2 level 3 monsters, and monsters Cherubini points to cannot be destroyed by card effects, so that means the Burning Abyss can't blow themselves up if you have a different monster on the field. And if Cherubini would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can send 1 other card you control to the graveyard instead. And that will, of course, let your Burning Abyss cards use their effects, as well as protecting Cherubini. You can send 1 level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard to target 1 Burning Abyss monster on the field, and it gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of the monster sent to the graveyard until the end of that turn. That's definitely very good because this is basically another foolish burial of 1 of your Burning Abyss monsters to the graveyard to activate their effects, as well as it lets you pump up more than likely your Dante, but you can even technically pump up the Cherubini itself. But for the most part, it's definitely very good. Some other Xyz monsters are going to be the 1 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. Next up, the man who needs no introduction. It's Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. Dante is definitely the heart and soul of the deck, and this is what you want to make kind of as early as possible because he helps mill your deck to have the Burning Abyss cards go off, and then whatever you want back into your hand when he leaves the field, you can bring it right back. Additionally, we have Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. Even though she's a rank 6, she can be alternatively summoned by also Xyz summoning her by sending 1 Burning Abyss monster from your hand to the graveyard and using 1 Dante monster you control as Xyz material, and then any Xyz material on Dante actually get transferred to her as well. If summoned this way though, you can't use her effect the turn she's summoned, but the next turn, once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach an Xyz material from her to send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. And if Beatrice is destroyed by your opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon any Burning Abyss monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Now that's quite fun, because the main thing is you use Dante and everything, you overlay Beatrice onto it, and then if she survives a turn, since she does have a pretty beefy 2800 defense, you can use her next turn in order to Foolish Burial a Burning Abyss monster, or if she gets destroyed, you can summon Dante, Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss, or I'll put him right here, or Virgil, Rockstar of the Burning Abyss. Now, Pilgrim's pretty good because he must be fusion summoned, but of course that does not matter. He cannot be targeted by an opponent's card effect, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can send a Burning Abyss card from your hand to the graveyard to draw 1 card. So he's definitely a good kind of pseudo-draw engine, and you can send if this card's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So he kind of does some hand manipulation, both gets you cards into your hand by discarding Burning Abyss monsters, but also when he basically gets destroyed by your opponent gets to lose a card as well. Virgil, on the other hand, is level 6, so we can also synchro summon him normally, and you can only control one of him, but once per turn you can discard one Burning Abyss card to target one card your opponent controls or in their graveyard and shuffle it into the deck. So that's definitely a very good removal option. And if he is on the field and is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can draw one card. So it's kind of similar to Pilgrim, but in a different way. But he not only helps you draw, but remove things from the field, which is definitely good. The final 2 synchros I run are Naturia Barkion, since we are playing a bunch of level 3 Earth monsters, and also Goyo Predator, who basically is Goyo Guardian, except the monster that you steal only does half the battle damage to your opponent. You could probably run normal Goyo Guardian as well, but I just like Goyo Predator because he's kind of like a revamp, because they made Goyo Guardian kind of too strong for the time. They errated him to need an Earth Tuner, which honestly could still work in this deck, but I couldn't actually find my Goyo Guardian either, so that's why Predator's here. I do have 2 extra spots, which one should definitely go to Brionic, the Dragon of the Ice Barrier, or whatever specifically it's called. I believe it's just Brionic Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I believe that's definitely a good option in this deck. And the final card is up to you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think should be the last card in the extra deck. Now, I'm not claiming to be the best Burning Abyss player in the world, but it's definitely a very fun deck. I definitely picked it up a lot later than most people. I picked it up at the beginning of 2019, actually. I finally decided to get all the cards. But for the most part, it's definitely very fun, very good, and I see why it's such a fan favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been JC Theater Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me just move these right here, and I'll see ya.